Hello. So this is kind of a non data sort of recording. So I just wanted to talk about why you wanted to start teaching. What was it? Was it that you had connections in education? Was it that you really cared about all of your students' success or the success of all students, you know. Um, but I just, I want you to think about why we go into teaching, right? We want to help students learn. Um, so when there are students that are struggling, what are the barriers that are getting in the way? Are they distractions? Are they distractions in the classroom? Are they distractions with their cell phones? Are there learning barriers? So what are what are some of the things that are getting in the way of students learning? That is why I have a passion for teaching. Um, I've always been curious about what is getting in the way of learning in the classroom. In high school, there's a lot of things going on, from social issues to academic issues to trying to fit in to, relationship issues that students go through, all of those things that are, uh, possibly getting in the way of a student's success. So that's where my passion came in. Like, I always, the students that had no barriers, that had no issues, that could get through the material, get through the lessons, regardless of the weakness of the lesson or the type of lesson. They were, I always knew that I had no issues with them, but I was always curious about the kids that were stalling or were struggling or, had other things going on. So why did you want to go into teaching, and what are some of the barriers your students are going through? you know are they academic barriers? Maybe they don't understand the material, and if that's the case, what resources are you giving them, or what resources are you helping them with? Is it a language barrier? Are you using the translation apps? Are you allowing them to use dictionary.com? Are you allowing them to use their own apps, to access, you know, tran- translation tools or learning tools? Are you allowing them to go seek, tutoring support? Um, so those are all things that you want to think about. Or, maybe they need to be tested for a learning disability. So what are some ways you're kind of supporting students in that process? Other distraction factors are their cell phones. I mean, obviously, students are enjoying memes. You know, they're always looking at memes, looking at funny things, and we all do it. I do it. I look at funny things when I need a break. But when it comes time to learning and classroom work, how is that impacting your class? And what are you doing to deal with it in a positive and constructive way, without so much as, going to administration to, write them up or whatnot? Um, are there too many posters in the classroom? I found that to be interestingly distracting to students. And I know we like to decorate our classroom, and I think it's great to decorate your classroom, especially, during the seasons, Christmas, Halloween time, and so forth, or just, you know, classwork, which is something we need to do. But is it distracting to students when you're trying to teach them because they're just looking around? Um, or is it, they're having other situations that are beyond our control? Um, how are how are you dealing with that? How are they dealing with it? So those are things that you kind of want to think about in terms of, going back to how to help students and what your passion is. And, again, I'm always curious. I'm just a curious person. I want to know why this is happening, why that's happening, and so that's part of my motivation of, doing research and trying to solve problems and mysteries and how to provide people with those solutions. So I just wanted to sort of throw this out there for the week. What is your passion? Why did you go into teaching? And how can you help students, solve these problems in the classroom and beyond? And how do you direct them to resources? Go to tutoring, counseling. How do you sort of direct them there? So these are some things that I just wanted to throw out there, you know, and sort of and how to resolve those situations. And again, it's going back to, we went to college to do this, right? Obviously, there's a passion there. And I have 3 masters and a PhD, so there's a lot of passion within me to teach and to help students succeed in literacy and reading and writing and in classes that they're taking, because ultimately they're going to go out there in the world, and if we don't provide them with the right tools to solve their problems, I think that that's something that we are doing a disservice to them, right? So how can we how can we help them? How can we provide solutions for them? What can we do for them before they get into adulthood? So these are just some things I thought I'd throw out there. And again, this is just an impromptu video. So again, thank you for the views. Thank you for the likes, and I really appreciate that. So hope you have a great week.